Hello and welcome to Let Us Farm. My name is Emadefon Noel Oge of Let Us Farm. So today we are talking about what could make a catfish that is growing all of a sudden to stop adding weight even as they are eating normal feed. So this is a problem, a very serious problem. As a catfish farmer, there are some certain things that happens to your fish, but you don't have solutions to it. And one of them is this: when you're feeding your catfishes very well, same feed, but all of a sudden they stop adding weight, their growth is not improving, but they are there eating. What could actually lead to this? So that's what we'll be talking about. Now, if you're having any other problem in your catfish farm, all you need to do is do a video of your catfishes and send this video to 081 353 48909. So when I look at this videos, the problem of in these videos, I will be able to share you a free solution to solving that problem. I'll be right back to talk about this. Welcome back. So like I said, what causes your catfish in the pond eating same feed, all of a sudden they stop growing well, they stop adding weight instead, but they are just there eating and eating? It's a problem because it means you are losing money. So like I said, there could be many reasons that can cause this. You eat your catfish and this is happening. Now, one of the problems that can lead to this is the feed you are giving these catfishes, if they are expired. So expired feeds mean that the ingredient in this feed that is supposed to make your catfish to keep getting big, keep growing, is no longer there. Once this is expired, it means that the ability of these ingredients to transform to the body weight and growth of your catfish is no longer there because they are already expired in their nutritional composition. So it is that this feed, though the fishes are eating it because they are hungry, but it's not adding anything to them. So I give you an example. Corn. So corn is a part of ingredient used in producing feed. Now, if a fish feed expires, the corn composition, because it's already grinded. So even if it's not grinded, when corn spoils, so it becomes weak. Instead of adding to energy on the contribution it's contributing to the feed, it will no longer add energy because then it becomes powder, becomes light. So if anything is eating whatever is made of this corn at this point and thinking it will get the energy that a good corn will give it, you discover that it's no longer added. So it's just like eating nothing. So this is what happens exactly when you are giving your fishes expired feed, especially when this fish feed has expired for a very long time. Sometimes it even becomes toxic to the fish. That one, they will not gain weight. Two, they will not start having issues of having a problem with breathing. But what we are talking about today is the issue of that they lose weight. So it is very bad. It is very dangerous to give catfishes expired feed. The worst part of it all is when you are using maybe the feed that you yourself produced and maybe you stocked this feed for a very long time. So you don't even have an expiry date for them. So what happens is that most times the composition of those feed that you did, the ingredients you used in doing it, would get to its life expiry time. They expire. So that thing they're supposed to add, they will not add it. So instead, your catfish will now start losing energy. So the more they are eating, instead of them to be growing, they start losing energy. That is why it is very important to always check for expiry date. Now, most feed will expire 3 months after manufacture. Maximum is 4 months. Most of them is 3-4 months they have expired. So whenever you buy a fish feed, check of the production date, Sometimes it appears as DB, that's production date. Yeah, that's PD, production date. It appears as PD, it's production date. Then you now check for your expiry date. So make sure that the difference between the production and expiry date is not more than 3 months. Maximum is 4 months. Most times it's 3 months. So sometimes, when people want to do magic, they go and clean up the expiry date and try to put in a date. So some people that don't understand this will go and put in 6 months. Just leave that fish, don't buy it. Well, all these things is better for you to do it, to be on the safer side than just losing money because something is cheap. Because some people may reduce the price of the feed, clean off this thing, and you buy it and you're giving it to your fish. You're actually wasting your time and money. So one of that is expired feed. Then another reason is poor feed. Expired feed and poor feed, they go the same hand in hand. Poor feed is when the feed doesn't have quality. Now, there are some people, they are feeding a particular feed at 2 months and they say, oh, I don't have enough money to continue feeding that feed. So let me give an example with a feed manufactured in Nigeria. Maybe you're using top feed. At 2 months, you're still on top feed and decide, oh, I don't have money for top feed. Now you switch to a feed that your neighbor brought from his house and gave you that feed, that this feed, they are wonderful. So I'm not saying that your neighbor cannot produce good food. But the issue is that you don't know the composition of this feed. So if the ingredient composition of this feed is poor, that means the feed is poor, and you switch because there is price difference. Imagine buying this one 21,000 and this one that they brought to you is 16,000. So you switch to a poor feed at the same age. Then your catfishes for the first two days they resist it. All of a sudden they start eating it. Yes, don't ever be confused that your fishes are eating a feed, but you are not seeing the weight. They are eating because they are hungry. So instead of them to eat themselves, they see something to eat. Fish practically will eat anything. So when this happens, you have switched from a good food to a poor food. They will still be eating it, but the problem is, instead of getting more weight or growing well, they will just stay there. So I'm not saying that your neighbor cannot produce good food, but I'm saying a food that you don't know the composition. It could be poor food, it could be anything. So I haven't seen people rebag feed, so let's not go into all this. But I've seen people rebag feed, had of a discussion and discovered that those feeds were actually expired, but because it's a brand name, which I will not say here, that people are buying, it cleaned off this thing and rebagged the feed. So that's why it's good. Anytime you're buying feed, just make sure you know where you're buying this feed from. So if you notice anything, you could actually go back, complain, and they check other feed to be sure that nothing actually went wrong. Then another thing is spacing. So your fishes at the beginning, when you put them, they have too much space. So they are growing, and they get to a certain time. They are now getting too much where they are. But they are growing. The fishes don't talk. And you are feeding. But you notice that they don't have weight. But they are eating the food. Could be that the space is not good for them. So if the space is not good for them, they don't have enough room for digesting their feed. And what this creates is that they just eat without getting this food to digest. And it is until the food is digested before you can get the weight you are targeting from a catfish. So that's why when I tell people, don't feed your catfishes before you sell, they don't understand it. But that will be a topic for another day. So it is until your catfish feed, when they eat, that time they eat, they don't actually get that weight you're looking for. But when they digest the food that they eat, it goes into the system, they now have weight. So if you have poor spacing, they will keep eating, but they don't have space to settle down and digest this food. So automatically they eat, but they don't digest it. Even sometimes they vomit it. That's why sometimes you notice that your catfish pond color always changes on time, but you don't know what is causing this, because sometimes they eat, yes, So you are feeding them one bag of food. They come up, they eat the one bag of food, they go down to digest. Everywhere is crowded. They don't have space for digestion. So some of them vomit this food. Yes, but you never see the vomit because it goes down to the pond. Only few come up because, check the time. They ate after like 30 minutes, 1 hour. Some of them begin to vomit. This vomit settles down. So you up will not see it. But the problem is when you do test weighing, they still remain on the same weight. Sometimes you do the test weighing, they are losing weight, but you don't know what is going on, and yet they are eating massively. So what could be going on? That is because at that time they have grown too much in that space that they find themselves, and so they are not able to get that digestion that you're looking for to give you the weight gain, and they keep losing weight. So spacing could be another serious problem. Then another problem could be dirty water. When your pond water is very dirty, your catfishes find it difficult to actually eat. When you are feeding, they all, like I said, they all come up. You see them coming to eat. But do they actually eat this food? No. Because immediately they open mouth, they close. Immediately they open mouth, they close. So some of them that manage to grab the food, like I said, they go down the pond, but this pond water is smelling. Within some minutes they are inside the pond, they vomit this food. But sometimes you don't see it. Worst is in eating pond, you don't even know what's going on. Concrete, tarpaulin, rubber tanks, it happens most times. You don't know. They eat it, they go, and then when they throw up, you don't even know because they throw up at different intervals. This fish feed, you are not there always in the pond to see what's happening. So this fish feed, when they throw up, some come up and then go down and then, just scatter. So it's only when you are changing water, I keep seeing something like sand under the pond. If you're wondering where is this thing coming from, it's the food. So they are not actually eating this food. And the ones that pick up the food, it's not actually digesting. So they're actually throwing it up. And then you wonder that why are they eating so much? But then their weight and their growth doesn't change. Here you have it. These are some problems. And there's also their solutions, which we all know. Like I said, don't buy expired feed. Don't in a hurry to make some money switch to poor feed that don't give you, anything. Spacing. If you are in doubt of your spacing, always reach out to me. Send me the weight, the length, the weight, and the depth of your catfish pond. I personally don't have anything to benefit when I tell you what your pond will take. Some people say, "Oh, that this pond, I'm wasting space." Well, it's none of my business. It's your own pond. So whatever you wish to do, it's all of your business. But if you send it to me, I will always do you a favor by giving you all those informations free of charge. Then, dirty water. Why should you have dirty water in the pond? Change the water every 2 days. If you're on tarpaulin, concrete pond, every 2 days, remove the water, allow new one to enter. If you're on netting pond, best result, every 1 month, just discharge the water and allow new water. And your catfishes are happy. They give you the result that you deserve. And you get your money back guaranteed. So, is there any other issue in this particular thing you don't understand? Okay, if there's anyone, kindly use the comment section. And if you have anything you want me to come and explain very better for you, use the comment section. My name is Emelefon Oge of Leros Farm. Keep farming. It's a way of life.